It's so crazy to think that I'm starting my 4th year as a full-time small business owner soon. It feels surreal because there's still so much I don't know and many areas I haven't explored yet. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, as I love a good adventure and it means there's still plenty of room for improvement. Looking back, being the first in my family to embark on this entrepreneurial journey and having to figure out many things on my own, I'm really grateful to live in an era where high-quality, self-development books and podcasts are readily available. Whenever I feel lost or unmotivated, there are honestly my personal mentors guiding me through life. In this video, I'll be sharing some of my favorite ins and outs for the new year, based on what I've learned so far as a small business owner. A big shout out to Dogstore Domains for sponsoring this video. To be honest, I feel a bit ashamed to say that this is my 4th year running my small business from my apartment. It's a bit embarrassing that even after 4 years, I still don't have a real warehouse or storefront and I'm still figuring things out much like a newbie. Meanwhile, when I scroll online, it seems like everyone else is doing so much better. Don't get me wrong, I'm genuinely happy for others' success. There are real life examples of what's possible, showing me that I could be one of them too. But sometimes I can't help but wonder, why aren't I there yet? Why are they so far ahead while I'm still here? Is it because I'm not good enough? Clearly, this mindset isn't going to get me anywhere. So, in this new year, I've decided to stop comparing my journey to others. We're all on our unique paths, moving at different paces and in different phases of our lives. If I must compare, I'll compare my current self to my past self. Looking back, I've realized how wrong I was to never feel truly satisfied, even during record-breaking months. I guess it was because I didn't know what I truly wanted, but after spending a year clearing my head and discovering my why, I've gained a better idea of where I'm headed. My passion for chasing my dream is stronger than ever, and I've learned to celebrate the small wins in life. It's time to let go of watching others and focus on myself. As long as I'm doing a little better than yesterday, that's what truly matters. Donald Miller was the first person who drew me into the entrepreneurial and business world. I remember out of curiosity listening to all his podcasts and buying his audiobooks on marketing and brand building while still working in a low-paying, high-stress 9-to-5 job. Little did I know that one day I'll have my own online store and be applying what he taught. I've invested in several of his books like Building a StoryBrand, Marketing Made Simple, and How to Grow Your Small Business. These are the books I turn to whenever I feel stuck in my business journey. So if you're a small business owner like me, I highly recommend checking out his podcasts and books. He's given so many tips. One thing he said that I will always remember is, if you confuse, you lose. I found this to be incredibly true, especially for my online store. Imagine meeting someone in a business setting who hands you a business card with just a website, say blah blah blah.com. What's your immediate thought? Mine would be, oh, what is this website about? It's too generic. A .com can mean anything. A portfolio, blog post, a gallery, or possibilities are endless and honestly confusing. How do we tell people that this website is an online store without actually telling them? The answer is simple. Use a Dogstore domain. For example, overthinkerapparel.com becomes overthinkerapparel.store. Why does this help? Think about walking around in a new city. You identify buildings by their signs: supermarket, restaurant, salon. A building without sign is confusing. The same principle applies to websites. The Dogstore domain acts like a big neon sign that says store, letting people know immediately that they're entering an online store where they can buy from you. It helps you stand out and make your presence known. Data supports this too. A unique 12-month study showed that a Dogstore domain leads to 87% more traffic, helping to increase sales. Additionally, websites with a Dogstore domain experience a 12% lower cost of conversion on ads. When customers see ads, they're more inclined to make a purchase from an ad that indicates it's from a store. That's why big names like Michelle Obama, Zach King, Discord use Dogstore domains for their merch websites. Even Mr. Beast switched from .com to Dogstore because it's simply better. Plus, a Dogstore domain gives you access to deals and discounts worth $2,500 on popular business tools like QuickBooks, MailChimp, Wix, Google Workspace, and more. Perks you wouldn't want to miss. So, with the Dogstore domain, you're not just selling more, you're also saving more. It really seems like it pays to start a Dogstore domain. Right now, Dogstore is offering our audience a limited time deal. Get a Dogstore domain for just 99 cents for the first year. You can purchase the Dogstore domain on Shopify, Namecheap, GoDaddy, or wherever is convenient. Just click the link in my description and use my code OTHSTORE to secure a Dogstore domain for only 99 cents for the first year. Y'all, lifestyle creep is real. I used to be broke, then I made some money, and now I'm just surviving again. It's all because I didn't know how to manage my money when I had it. This leads to one of my biggest goals for the new year, becoming financially literate. This is a super important topic, especially when you have a business, because everything relates to money. From maintaining good cash flow to ensuring a healthy profit margin, we have to be smart about our money. I don't want myself or my loved ones to ever worry about money again. So after doing some research, I finally feel less ignorant compared to a year ago, and I want to share where I have learned all my basics so far. But please remember, everything I share here is not legal financial advice. I'm just sharing what I think is beneficial as a beginner. Always do your own research when it comes to handling your money. Now, the basics: budgeting, high-yield savings accounts, investing, Roth IRAs, 401ks, emergency funds, and credit cards are terms that often came up during my research. They were really confusing to me at first, and I had no clue why I needed to care about any of them. If you're like me, no worries. Let me introduce you to Vivian too. If you're interested in money tips and you're on TikTok often, you've probably seen her on your For You page at least once. She recently published a book called Rich AF, where she explains all the money related tips you need to know about being and staying rich. She explains everything in a straightforward, easy to understand, and relatable way, and provides step-by-step instruction for tackling various financial problems. 5 out of 5. I often catch myself thinking, man, if I were more this and less that, I'll be unstoppable. I've come to realize that I'm the only one holding myself back. Take for example, my exciting ideas that would be great for my business. When it's time to act, I often find myself hesitating. There have been times when everything seemed to be on the right track, yet I became overwhelmed and stopped myself from going further. It sounds odd, but it has happened. Why do I know exactly what I need to do to level up my business, but end up procrastinating and sticking to my comfort zone? Clearly, something needs to change so I can stop getting in my own way. Each decision I make, big or small, directly affects the trajectory of my business, and my mindset is the driving force behind those decisions. Where do I start with improving my mindset? This brings me to The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. I started with the Kindle version and loved it so much that I got the Audible version too. Reading or listening to this book is like attending a therapy session. It has shed light on the ways I consciously or unconsciously sabotage myself and offer strategies to resolve these behaviors. My main goal for this year is to stop overthinking. If I have an idea, I act on it, focusing on finding ways to make it work instead of excuses why it won't. However, slipping back into my old toxic mindset, it's really easy. But don't worry, I have a trick. You know how you can pick up a song playing in the background after hearing it enough? I want my brain to do the same with positive thinking. That's why I love listening to this book while working on my business. Some of you might wonder why I preach mental health, self-care, and mindset so much when I share anything related to my small business. You might think, I just want the get-rich-quick tips. Who has time for all that? I get it, I used to feel the same way, but I was wrong and I quickly learned a very costly lesson. That was my ignorance debt, as Alex Hormozi would put it, but I'm glad I paid it early in my self-employed journey. Now, I've made it my mission to never repeat the same mistake. If I can use my platform to influence even one of you to take better care of your mind, I consider that a win. You may ask, how are you able to share the less glamorous sides of your small business when many people only focus on the good, eye-catching moments? It's all thanks to Brené Brown, especially her book, The Power of Vulnerability. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Brené Brown. My Audible library is filled with her audiobooks. She inspired me to embrace my vulnerability. She also taught me about courage, shame, and empathy. Educating myself on these topics has been extremely helpful, not just personally, but also in how I run Overthinker Apparel. As you probably know, we're all about creating cute sweatshirts with uplifting messages. Everything I create, be it a new collection or a video, is designed with one goal in mind: to make people feel something. Sure, bringing in sales and watching the numbers go up gives me a serotonin boost, but what truly matters to me is how my brand makes people feel. My greatest joy is when customers tell me they've shared our brand with friends, when fellow small business owners send me photos of people wearing our sweatshirts at events, or when viewers go through tough times tell me how much comfort our products bring them. These moments are what give me life, and I can only do this by regularly exploring important but often overlooked topics like courage, vulnerability, shame, and empathy. So I highly recommend listening to her books, particularly her own narrations. She makes me think, makes me laugh, and makes me feel. I just love her work so much and highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out already. I hope you enjoyed today's unsolicited book and podcast recommendations. They've greatly helped me in shaping my goals for the new year as a small business owner, and I hope they bring some clarity to your life too.